I mean, to be fair to Hannah, I think the most egregious thing in the world is her labia, isn't it?
Don't you bloody start.
Would you ever
We
get
are
them
recording,
removed
by
if
the
they
way.
got too bit much?
Fantastic.
If you got swollen.
Swole.
Because didn't that
They are
Elle
right
Brooke
now.
get her flaps chopped off?
Who got her flaps chopped off?
That Elle Brooke.
Yes, she did.
Who's Elbrook?
Are you
The Man City
like?
fans.
Do you live under a rock?
Yes.
Yes.
It's basically the Man
you,
City version of Astrid Ware.
Oh,
I think,
Yeah.
I think
Less
Cyprus
annoying.
is just
I
a
know who
big
she is.
rock.
it is.
Someone said to me, "Bet you've never had your nipples bitten." After that tweet.
You know,
That's
we
very
have
tame.
actually started recording. This is on the actual pod.
That's fine.
So let's talk about your nipples being bitten.
Sure.
What was it like?
Well, apparently it's never happened.
Was it?
according to-
Was it as good as the? Was it as good as the game last night?
Oh, we're starting.
Should we get right into that?
Yeah.
Welcome to Hotspur Way, Season 1, Episode 46. Ange hates us, and we got loads of questions. Some from listeners, some from us. Where do we start? Which question out of the 9 from us should we go
9?
with first? Yes.
They're all James's questions.
With different burner accounts. I'm your biggest fan, James.
I love the website.
Let's start with number 2.
Were you a Marine?
Should have said.
This is that fucking high-pitched voice.
I have a feeling this pod is going to be off the fucking rails.
You gonna ask a question or
Is
not?
there-
Fucking hell.
Yeah, I'm about
Yes.
to, if you let me. Is there a cultural problem at our club?
Yes.
Yes.
Right, let's
I
move on to
knew
the next
you were
one.
going to say that. You were going to say
Well-
that because all of us here wanted us to not allow Arsenal to win the league, but you, being a Tory, said,
He's basically just fucking boring, isn't he?
Tory and proud. Rishi Sunak can
Go on,
take
have-
me any day.
"Have your day in the sun." What was your reason, and why is
We'll
there
put you on a
cultural
pedestal,
problem at
come
our
on.
club?
All my reason is right. I'm trying to think of an analogy here. I've got a really wank one. Here we go. So, if you're trying to model your garden, make some improvements, and then you look over to your neighbour, you see what they're doing, and like, oh, that looks good. That's good. Oh, wait, hang on. That's nice. I like that. That's better. How can I destroy it? And all the meantime, you're focusing on like, how can you fuck up your neighbour's garden whilst yours just turns to an overgrown shit heap? And more so, if you keep focusing on other things, you're never going to move forward yourself.
Yeah, but
So-
if that neighbour has like bonfires on a sunny day and shits through your letterbox occasionally, you'd want to fuck up their shit, wouldn't you?
Especially
Well,
if your
that's a
neighbour
little
was a
bit different.
rapist as well.
Exactly.
Well,
And what if that
when we look
neighbour?
into
One
Arsenal-
minute. Yeah, but what if that neighbour? You knew that if they had come onto your turf, would ruin a lot of things for you, and they promised you they would never do that, and then they did, and then they've tried to make your life a living hell ever since they've been your neighbour. Can you ask your
yeah.
question again?
How about what
Yeah.
if your neighbour was
Yeah.
an Arsenal fan?
I'm sure they are not an Arsenal
Is
fan.
this- is
or
this
they
the
wouldn't be
pod-
breathing.
Is this the pod you come out as an Arsenal fan?
Well, I'm glad you brought it up.
Explains so much.
A long time coming.
It-
No, I just think, right, if you're so fucking desperate and so keen for your rivals to fuck up, it's very cucky behaviour. You do anything for them to, experience a difficult moment or a bit of pain. It's just very cucky. It's like, oh yeah, fuck me instead. You do your thing. Haha. Go away, man. Just
Yeah,
focus
but
on you.
is it really fuck me instead? Like, is it really?
Well,
We haven't
losing a
been
game
fucked.
have
is
a lot
your
to play
no,
for.
no. So we still had the possibility of Champions League football, right?
Well, we
And everyone
all knew
found-
that's
no,
not happening.
it's not impossible. It's got the same chance as anything else happening. And I just think, if you're there wanting to spread your legs open for City to go and win the title, that's like saying, oh yeah, that bloke with a 11-inch hog, he can shag my wife if it means my neighbour can't. It's that same principle. Like, fucking get over it. Like, I don't get how someone or something can live in someone's head so rent-free if we're meant to be so much bigger and better than them. And just fuck them off. Like, enjoy the rivalry, yeah, but I generally just don't care about them.
Is that not
That's
part
the
of the
thing.
rivalry, though? Unfortunately, we have to care a little bit, because otherwise...
I
there isn't
refuse to let them live rent-free in my head. I just don't care. I have no anything for them. Just nothing. They're just irrelevant for me.
You've spoken quite a lot about them.
This has just riled me up because I'm in like a corner on my own. I think there's one person that's backed me on Twitter.
Let's
say,
yeah, go on.
One last little thing. Just a recent comment from Jack Pitbrook at The Athletic. I can't paraphrase it. Sorry. Most Evergreen all to Ange was since a few club staff members, many of whom are Spurs fans, had been relaxed about the possibility of losing versus City because of the title race context. A lot of the staff were shown as normal. However, a minority of the staff had been making jokes about throwing the game or playing the youth players. And that's really pissed Ange off. And then we saw that in his press conference after. And so I think if that's actually happening within the club...
How has that managed to get out from the club,
club.
though? Who has been stupid enough to say that?
Of course. Oh, it's easy to get out.
It's the snake,
Right, that moves that moves over to Mason. Yeah. So look, that ties into which question was it? Oh, number 3, right? But before we do that, let's take a look at this. Let's go to the critical corner. Football is a business. We are empowering our number 1 competitor to leapfrog us for possibly years. It's not about living rent-free. That's the tribalistic point of view, but it's not just about that. The chance of us making Champions League or them winning the league is much higher than us getting Champions League. Do you agree with that?
100%.
To a point.
I know you do. I'm talking to little James.
Yeah.
So I'm being patronising.
On
On purpose. Yeah.
I enjoy it. It's like dirty talk. I get it, but at the same time, I think what's best for your club is, making the best steps within every game possible and trying to become the best you can be and play the best, perform against the best. We played well against City. They just, had a couple of moments, a penalty, which was shit from Porro, and then an easy sort of tapping goal.
Should be offside, apparently. There's an angle of De Bruyne being offside, but we'll get into VAR later, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's a whole different
we're going to
stuff
cover
in
that.
today's news.
Right.
Yeah, I don't see a point in bending over to...
It's not. But it's not bending over. Hold on a minute. It would be bending over if Ange actually sent his players out there to lose, and they really showed us, other than Son, who I'm pretty sure he missed that on purpose, or something came over him at that point, because he scores those.
There is bread and butter, isn't they?
Yeah.
Have you seen all the videos that have been posted today of him going through one-on-ones to scoring constantly? Mm-hmm. They're all over the timeline of him just going through one-on-one.
City as well. That's
all the time. He loves literally. But what happened to Kulusevski as well? Why has he been shipped for how?
Because he's an Arsenal fan. He's an Arsenal fan, mate, and he's an Arsenal fan. So I can sort of understand it. Yeah. He didn't actually say it, but he didn't want to say which team that he would want to play for because it would bother us. So it's clearly them. Look, mate, it's not just the club as a whole didn't bend over for City. The supporters did, and the fans did. Remember, 2 different things: supporters and fans. Sometimes it's one and the same. Sometimes it's different. We did, or the majority of us did. Okay, and it wasn't just about them coming up with memes and saying, "Oh, look, you won us the league." No, we didn't win you the league. Okay, you won far more games than other people. And that's why you won the league. It's not us. And that doesn't bother me. What bothered me was the fact that you don't present gifts to your competitors and say, here you go. You just don't do it. In any walk of business, right, you just don't do it. And that was why even though it was weird watching the game, it was the weirdest game I've ever seen, to be honest with you. I know I sort of cheered on WhatsApp when they scored, but I wasn't really. I was unhappy, and I turned off the game. Yeah. I actually turned off the game. I said goodnight to you guys, I think, before the game finished. And I turned off the TV. I didn't see the final whistle. I didn't want to. It bothered me. I don't want to see my team lose. But sometimes, for the greater good, you need to. You need to take hits so you can go forward. When it's time.
What was that?
Laughing at the cat. It's Shishi, the cat. She wants to be on the podcast.
Cats agreeing.
Right. One thing that I have. Okay, because
James,
I'm
let me
try again.
NPR.
Let me talk about what you're
go on,
saying,
Johnny.
Because I think that's the important distinction that people need to make in their heads and with thinking about this whole cheering for City thing. So it's not cheering for City like we desperately wanted. We weren't setting up, like you said, we weren't setting up to lose, but us as fans wanted them. We wanted them to win, but we always want us to win, but we also knew that it was going to be a very big challenge. That's why kind of in our group I said it's kind of a win-win for me. If they win, great, we fuck over Arsenal. If we win, awesome, we might be one more step to Champions League. I mean, it's still an uphill battle. It would have been an uphill battle even if we won. But in a sense, it's a difference between what the club wants, what the fans want, and the fans are fickle bitches. There's always going to be a split amongst us. But that's kind of the point of the two, if that makes sense.
100%. Josh, I muted you, mate, because there seems to be this hiss in the background. Plus, you're watching the game. So
I thought I lost the connection. Jesus Christ!
No.
There was
I just
something
unmuted him so
definitely
you can hear the hiss again. I don't know what he's got the best. He's got the best set of speakers and mics, and now his phone's dropped again.
Yeah, it's hitting my monitor. There we go. I've settled it. I don't know why there's a hiss. I'm literally in an empty room. There's nothing in it.
Yeah, maybe put the mic near your mouth again, not around the back of your head like last time.
Oh, is that better? Would you like it?
The other thing,
much better?
So what I was going to say earlier was that because I'm involved in branding, marketing, and PR, there's something in PR called understanding or measuring moods, and you do this with either your client-based partners and sometimes your staff if you've got a huge company. 2 days ago, Ange came out. And he was quite shocked and didn't believe, and you could see it that he didn't believe it, that we would act the way we did. And the reason why I believe he was so furious in that press conference after the game was because he couldn't believe what he had witnessed. And I'm also super disgusted and confused as to why no one in the club actually said to him, mate, you just said to them, what is it, 10%, 20%? Oh, it's just social media saying that Spurs fans won't actually, back the side. It's actually not, mate. It's going to happen. You need to understand this. I can't believe no one said it before he even said what he said 2 days ago. And then after no one told him this.
So I have
Any
a
thoughts
slightly
on
different.
this?
I have a slightly different take. I have a feeling that someone did say something, and that's why he was banging that drum of no, mate, we're going to go out there and we're going to try and win it, and was sort of that's why he was so frustrated at that conference because he's probably had it in the ear.
Well, he has, because it's like that thing from Jack Pitbrook I read earlier. It says it's been going around inside the club within his own staff. And I think with a culture that Ange wants to build, where it's just win at all costs and, never say die, become a winning club, it is going to absolutely rattle him or anyone trying to build like a winning culture within a team. I think maybe it's a little bit different to what a Mourinho or Conte would do or feel about things, specifically more Mourinho. And definitely throw his team under the bus to stop a rival winning the league. 1,000%. That's Mourinho all over. But I think that's where Ange differs. He just wants to win, and win.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I get that.
definitely.
There's nothing wrong with that per se, but obviously he's made a lot of comments in the heat of the moment, and that's why I think maybe we should just let them land. Because like now these things are starting to come out, aren't they? Like, well, actually, all week he's been getting it from people who really, really shouldn't be saying those things. We can say those things as fans because it's a different tie. But if you're employed by the club, it's slightly different, isn't it?
Oh, very different context.
I mean, like, how many millions have we lost out on by not potentially being the Champions League? I don't know. I don't know what the numbers are anymore. Like, this is a new format. Is it 50, 80? I don't know.
It's at least, I think group stage comparison, it's at least 60 to 70 loss.
Wow. So one other thing is the media. Why is it? I don't know if you guys listen to other podcasts that aren't Spurs related, football podcasts. I do quite a few of them actually. Okay, and there wasn't one podcast, or even on TalkSport or anywhere, even on the BBC Five Live, or even on Sky Sports or TNT, where they were saying Spurs fans will not want City to win the game, and they were actually serious about it. It was like, no, they'll never do that. The only person who did was Jamie O'Hara, and he's been banging this drum for ages. And everyone was telling him to shut up. And I was like, why is there such a disconnect between the media and understanding what the hell's going on at a certain club? How do they not get it? How do they not understand it? Or do they, and they're just pretending not to get it?
I think it's that. I think it's very sanitized. I just feel like back in the day, it would have been very different with rivalries like this. Yeah. I don't know. That's
I think it's the difference between old and new media as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with you on that.
I don't know where Josh has gone.
He's muted himself. I told him to mute himself when he's. I don't know. That hissing was really starting to bother.
I think he's pouting in the corner now.
Now, after last week's horrific show, where how did you say it, Todge? That I sounded like I was talking through Pringles tins or something.
Pringles tube.
Yeah. Pringles tube. Yeah. Guys, why
I said that actually. It wasn't Todge, so I will take that credit. Thank you.
Here he is, piping up.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. When he unmutes himself, you hear the hiss.
We get
and then he says, "No, I'm not gonna say anything." And then he unhisses himself.
It's not muting. That's really funny.
Yeah,
just reminds you of that Replay video every time.
You know when Josh is coming, there's a lot of air on your back.
Johnny, question for you.
Yes.
Why did the players turn up for this match, but not any in the last few games? Including the win against Burnley, because I thought they didn't play very well at all.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. I think we kind of discussed it in our group chat, but I think it's because they didn't feel the pressure. It was, when again, not that they didn't want to win, but when you don't expect something, you have the expectation off of your back. You have the release of it not being stressful. You're not asked the big ask because you can just do your best and that's it. So you could just play, and that's what they did. They just played. They controlled the ball. They had nice, quick, snappy passes, which I loved. They held onto it well. They didn't make dumb decisions for the most part. I mean, other than obviously the penalty, but I think it was just they didn't have a lot of pressure on them. They didn't feel a lot of pressure. I think that's might be why we, fingers crossed, will play really well this weekend against Sheffield.
We're going to put that to the test, right? Against against you. So, by the way, so in America, do you call, like in Cyprus, they don't call Manchester United Man U or Man United or Manchester United. They just call them Manchester. And it's really weird when Manchester City came to prominence, because now when they say Manchester, now they have to define which of the two they're talking about, which is really funny.
Yeah.
So in America, do you just say Sheffield? You know, there's a team called Sheffield Wednesday.
I do know that.
You do? Okay.
I do. I think.
Do you know why they're called Sheffield Wednesday?
Because
have you not seen Ted Lasso?
I have. I didn't remember that discussion.
It was wrong. So it was because they were formed on Wednesday. It's a stupid name. Although I do have a soft spot for them. If I ever make enough money, I will buy a Sheffield Wednesday.
Is that really the truth? It's because they're formed on a Wednesday?
Yeah, that's the reason. It's not because they played on Wednesdays, as they say in Ted Lasso. But, I really hope they turn up. Yeah, I know. They're a massive club, by the way. But I really hope that they turn up against Sheffield United.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Do you think
we need it? We need them to. I mean, we even if they do turn up, we still have. Isn't there a way that we can still get kicked out of Europa?
I think we're fine.
If we win
on European football as a whole, because I think the only one is Chelsea that can overtake us.
Yeah, we literally only need 1 point, because Chelsea are 3 points behind us, but they got a better goal difference. So as long as we get a draw, we're fine. But obviously, if we lose, we need to hope Chelsea don't win. If Chelsea lose, it doesn't matter. We'll get Europa League regardless. But
this is as things stand, because if Newcastle turn it around against United, it's currently 1 United in their game.
Newcastle, Man United, that doesn't matter, does it? I think it's literally just Chelsea that can.
No, because if Newcastle win and then they win their final game, they can go above us.
Yep. Okay, can they still get it?
Yep.
Yeah, goal difference. Their goal difference is fucking wham.
Yep.
That's if we lose.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Plus 21. Jesus.
Yeah, so we're pretty safe, but it's like 6 condoms. One of them's got a little pinprick in it. Yeah.
Oh,
you never know.
Looking at our form guide as well on the right hand side. Jesus Christ. It's a fantastic colour coordination if you've got a starburst. It's a great starburst list.
That is sensational.
Man City have a disgusting starburster, but other than that, it's great.
Lime ones hit, man. Lime ones are underrated.
Do you reckon? Nah, to me, strawberry and blackcurrant, they're the ones for me.
Nah, strawberry and lime, but that's a generational combo. If they come any like banging ciders of strawberry lime, like you can't beat it.
That is true.
We don't have black currant. We have cherry.
It's a completely different fruit, Johnny.
Hey.
Yeah,
I know. No, I'm just saying we don't have black currant. I know it's a different fruit, Hannah.
We don't have banana. We have melon.
I know. What I'm saying is that's the dark red in the States. Is God damn it, motherfucker.
We don't have schools. We have gun ranges.
It's always me on the fucking phone, isn't it? The phone ringing is always me. I swear to God.
It is.
God damn.
Should we, as we're talking about Sheffield, do you want to do some predictions?
Sure.
Go on.
Yeah, fuck it.
All right. We're gonna beat them fucking 12-0. Fuck them.
What, you think they're gonna lie down for us?
Well, I mean, have they been relegated?
They might as well have been relegated from day one. They've been a car crash.
They weren't really promoted. They weren't really promoted.
I mean, we should fucking just absolutely smoke them, right? We absolutely should. But I'll go smoke them.
Do any of you do any of you have the same feelings as me? Do you remember when they played us at the beginning of the season? They were quite good, and we won in the last minute. Do you remember that? And now everyone is like, when I say everyone, I mean everyone has been saying, and I've been hearing it, they're the worst team ever. I just remember that game, and I thought, they're bottom of the league, and they've got this run of 5. I don't know how many they've lost in a row, but on the Premier League table, it's like their form guide is awful. I just keep going back to that game when they played all right. So I'm not.
I'm gonna go like 4-1. I'm gonna go 4-1. We win 4-1.
So you're going 4-1.
We're always gonna give up one.
You know that
right? It's just fucking.
Yeah, you know that our predictions on this podcast have been atrocious.
Mine haven't.
I think, yes, I have. I think that
No,
we have maybe throughout the whole season got like 3 right or 4, all of us together.
Yeah,
At least 3 of them are mine.
Isn't that
Maybe.
All right, show off. Fucking hell.
Yes, you got 1 right. Yes, we heard you the first 12
Get
times.
1 right. Shut up.
Pick me.
Mute yourself.
I got 1 right. Don't forget me.
I'm a girl and I've got labia. Pick me.
I'm not in the kitchen. I'm talking about football. Look at me. Women's rights.
I know that we're doing
without
the.
me.
I know that we're doing the Spurs, the Spurs Sheffield or Sheffield Spurs predictions. Do you think I would get the book or many books thrown at me if I say what I said about the Spurs women's or women's football in general?
No, because I
Should
was
I mention
saying.
that?
I was actually, instead of watching it, I decided to peel potatoes instead. It was much more entertaining.
What's
I
that
did.
that's like a role reversal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What I've just said about 2 seconds ago.
get in the kitchen, Josh. Peel my fucking potatoes, you bitch.
Yeah, I didn't do it willingly. I was told to do it.
Good boy. Did you do it with the gimp mask on or without the gimp mask?
And the funny thing is, we didn't even have the potatoes there. I put straight in the bin afterwards. It was just through spite I was told to do it.
Jesus Christ.
Obviously not that. They were used for a lovely roast dinner later on that day. But what I'm saying is, I just didn't care about the FA Cup final. Everyone tried so hard to gas it up on the timeline, didn't they? Everyone's trying to say, women's football, it's fantastic. I was just literally like, I don't care. I honestly could not give a shit. Like, I saw it as 4-0 and not one part of me cared. Like,
It did drag on a bit. I was there. It did drag on.
oh yeah, you were there, weren't you? Of course you were.
Yeah. Oh my god. I've never felt half of football go so slowly in my life.
Because I've watched women's football forward. The level in quality is so low. That's not being sexist. It's factual. Like, the quality level is, compared to what we're used to in watching like the men's game, it's chalk and cheese, night and day, black and white. It's ridiculous.
So you know when it was really bad under Conte and the games would be on and we'd just be on our phones on the couch, not really caring. You know, the TV was on, Spurs were playing, weren't really interested. I cared less. I put on, I told you guys, I put on the TV, and as soon as I put it on, the ball left her foot and went into the top corner. It was the first goal, and I didn't feel anything. And at that point, I said to, I think Hannah, or maybe all of you, is it sexist of me that I don't feel anything? This is Tottenham, apparently, but then it's not. And then Johnny made the best, what's the word I'm looking for?
Analogy?
The best. Sort of. Johnny, what did you tell me?
I said it's like a product. You can like the crisps made by one company. You could like a specific flavor, their barbecue flavor, their fucking motherfucker. That's the second fucking time. God damn it. Jesus Christ.
Why don't you answer it and put him on the pod?
This is
I reckon,
Please. Game and get to a prediction.
No.
I reckon if you pick it up, the person will be like, they just hit the second tower.
No, it's always Elisa calling me at this time of day. God. So
You
so
need
what
to tell
happens
the
is,
listeners who that is.
Elisa's Josh's mom. What? Mum. Sorry, mum.
I just realised I was muted that whole time, and I was like trying to fight my corner, and I'm just shouting at no one.
Punching walls in silence.
So the point that I made was that the company that we'll make this analogy for is Tottenham, right? The company is Tottenham. They have numerous products. They have a men's product. They have a women's product. They have a clothing line product. All that stuff. You can like one product by a company, and you can have a complete indifference to another product by that same company. You like Frito Lay's crisps. You like the regular flavor. You don't have to like the fucking barbecue flavor, right? That's my fucking dog making noise now. So it's just a calamity of noises over here. I'll see if I can fart in a minute. Anyway, so the point is,
Can you queef as well while you're at it?
Tosh, what's that noise you did earlier? Is it moist?
What noise?
You know the noise, though.
oh my!
There's that mastication again. Did you hear it?
I did. He licked his lips.
I did, yeah, I did.
Jesus,
he prepared for it.
I went close up to the mic on that one. Bit of ASMR. A little.
He marinated his lips. Ooh.
Whatever dick you do that on, Tosh, he must love it.
I do. His. I mean, what?
I do.
Johnny, listen. I agree with you to a certain point. I agree with you to a certain point, but we as supporters, as fans. What's going? Is that kid back in your basement?
I'm so glad it's not me.
That's a kid in my backyard again. I have no idea what's happening. Jesus Christ.
He's finally gotten out. He's escaped.
It's a neighbor kid. It's a neighbor kid.
Well, it's a random child. Has
just
got
noise. Just noise.
You're in America. Just go out and shoot him. It's fine. Listen, the point is, right, that as Spurs fans or supporters or fans of any club, there is this tribalistic element. I don't feel it with women's football. I feel it more when I watch under 21s or under 18s. Why don't am I that much of a fucking sexist and I don't realise it? What's wrong with me? And I wish podcasts... Fighting cock, I'm talking to you, by the way. I'm talking to you, Flav, because you feel the fucking same way and you don't ever say it, right? What is wrong with us? Why can't we just go, this is Spurs. We need to find a way to enjoy it.
There is a way to enjoy it.
If we're winning 4-0, if we're winning 4-0, would I have enjoyed it more? I don't know. I'm going to start watching it. Tell me your way.
So the way I see it, right, we all remember the England-Germany game in the Euros and the images of that German girl fucking bawling her eyes out. It was glorious.
I don't.
Did you throw your point up when that happened? The cheers in the pub.
I did a knee slide.
6-year-old girl in tears come up on the screen. It was fantastic.
Honestly,
it was louder than when we scored. It was brilliant.
Honestly, it was sensational. That was like one of the best things of my year. Like, honestly, brilliant. And the thing with women's football is, majority of the fans are kids, women, and then like the dads who feel a bit obliged to go. And so I was just having a yap with the bloke next to me about the men's team. Great, not bad. But then when you see like things happen, you realise you just get a load of kids crying and tormented by what's happening in front of their eyes. What is not to love about that?
No, women's football is very, very sanitised, though, isn't it? It's more of like a family day out.
Oh, yeah, you hear it on like the pitch.
Yeah,
I was literally about to say,
like, the cheers.
Like, there is no chanting, is there? Like,
no, we were, to be fair. There was some ultras in the fucking United section next to me, like a bunch of fucking 14-year-old girls. I mean, they were screaming United on repeat for about 10 minutes.
That diluted itself so quickly. There are some ultras next to me, some 14-year-old girls.
Yeah. If you like football, clap your hands. Get that going.
But like, what you're saying, okay, yeah, carry on, James. It's fine.
No, I was going to say that, like, if I watch an England friendly, I feel exactly the same way. I don't give a shit. And I'm English.
The worst.
Well, I don't live in England anymore, but I don't give a shit. Honestly, I don't care.
Yeah, but then being here, you do get caught up in the atmosphere. Like if you're at the pub, for example.
Darling, I was there. I was there in '96 when Gaza was 1 inch away from scoring against Germany in the semi-final. I was there. I didn't. I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it even.
3 years old.
Good for you. So I don't know what the hell's... I don't know. Maybe... Look, hopefully I'm going to have kids soon. That's the plan. And maybe I'll feel differently. I don't know what's wrong.
What about women's football?
I don't know if, for instance...
It won't change anything. I have a daughter and I could not give a toss. I was going to say tits, but that makes no sense.
Josh, maybe you will when she gets older and if she started getting into football. Maybe it would change.
Yeah,
that's what my point was. Yeah.
Jesus fucking
I
Christ.
don't know.
You got kids.
You got to go sort that pikey problem in the garden.
As soon as I unmuted my mic, their fucking dogs started barking in the backyard.
The backyard.
The backyard.
Anyway, right, before we get onto VAR, can we finish the Sheffield Tuesday predictions, please? You said 4-1. 1 minute, let's ask Shishi. Shishi, what's the prediction? She doesn't give a shit now.
Read me, you can't.
Hannah, what's your prediction?
That's Hannah's trap talking.
So vulgar.
Give me a minute. Sorry, that's really funny.
Anytime her man comes around, that's just her clap, just talking.
Have you seen the film Teeth?
Feed me, you cunt. Feed me. Yes. Feed me, you cunt.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, I do feel relatively confident. Let's go 3-1. I don't feel confident enough for us to keep a clean sheet, so...
I'm chucking in a clean sheet. I'm going for 3-0.
Oh, yeah.
Last game of the season.
It would be really shameful if it wasn't a clean sheet, to be fair. But, yeah.
I'm chucking in a clean sheet. 3-0 I'm going for.
Lovely.
Yeah, I don't think there can be a clean sheet. And the reason I say that, I would say 5-0. But I saw some stat, and apparently Vicario is currently on course to be our first goalkeeper since 2006 to finish a season without making an error leading to a goal. So I think it's just going to happen in the final game.
Say that again.
Vicario is our first keeper. Yeah, Vicario is our first keeper.
First, not in general. Okay.
Yeah, no, he's our Tottenham's first goalkeeper since 2006 to not make an error leading to a goal.
Well, since you talked about it, Taj, expect that this match, right?
Yep, it's going to happen. It's just going to happen in the final game. It's in the script. Sorry, everyone.
Good job.
Yeah,
job. You are an Arsenal fan, aren't you, you fucking cocksucker?
I am. I wish Partey thought it was me instead. It should have been me.
So, Johnny,
it should have been me.
You've gone with 4-1. Josh has gone with 3-0. Hannah, what did you say?
3-1.
3-1.
3-1.
Todge.
6-1.
You said 5-1, right? 6-1.
6-1.
I think it's going to be 2-0 to Spurs. There you go.
Okay.
Clean sheets all over again.
Can we do the questions?
Right, now, before we go...
Goes?
Yeah. Oh, Johnny, okay.
Yeah.
So, let's do the... do you want to read them out? Hannah, do you want to read out the one from Stuart?
From Stuart. What questions do you have? Because they're not the questions I've got. Oh, yes, they are. I'm not very good at this, am I?
No.
Okay, from Stuart McClaney. A couple of my Catalan mates would rather Madrid lose than Barca win, and I think that's a general feeling with those fans. Does that make them tin pot like we are being accused of being?
I generally think it's just because it's Tottenham, isn't it? It's the easiest team to get clicks out of in the media. You just slander Tottenham and you'll get clicks coming out your arse. It's the easiest thing to do. Because obviously Arsenal fans are, like I said, social media team. They, as soon as they see something anti-Tottenham on any sort of social media, they will fucking suck the balls dry out of it.
It's like making fun of a
so
fat
elegant.
guy. I mean, it's not hard. The target's easy. Jesus Christ, be more fucking original.
But it's even top. We take the piss out of ourselves. You'd be like, no, it's
true.
not. You'll just disagree just for...
Todd, what do you think?
I mean, it's one of those that I do get it, but I just think at the end of the day, I think it comes to a point where I just don't care about them. And, it's funny watching them lose and everything, but, when it comes to the bottom of it, I just don't care. So for me, I mean, Real Madrid are the Spanish team I support. But obviously it's nowhere near to how much I love Tottenham. But it's I just still think it's a bit sad.
Are you a Ronaldo fanboy as well? Do you like Shanta Ronaldo?
No, I've got some standards.
That's right. Do you remember Shanta Ronaldo?
Todge. So let's just say Spurs win on any given weekend and Arsenal lose. Isn't your weekend slightly better because of it?
When he goes to the North London derby.
No, I'll give you two scenarios. So Spurs win, Arsenal lose, and Spurs win, Arsenal win. Do you care? Do you feel a difference?
It's not a great difference. Maybe like 2 to 5%. Like, but it's not. It doesn't like. I'm not gonna be like over ecstatic and just start like tugging one out because Arsenal lost. Like, they're irrelevant. Like, why care about some irrelevant?
As much as I'd love to agree with you on that,
I
they're not
can't.
relevant, are they? Because everything that happens in football with the club we support doesn't happen in a vacuum. So
yeah, exactly.
they're not irrelevant. As much as I'd love to agree with you, I don't. Sorry.
I don't want to.
Jaymes goes to the North London derby. He's like, oh, well, may the best team win. Come on, guys.
Get the prawn sandwiches out, lads.
Oh,
he does it in that Harry Scarf accent as well, doesn't he? So, I mean...
I've got to sit on the fence somewhere. Come on.
Johnny, one last question for you, mate, before you go. Ray at RayPhillips74 asks, chickens are upside down when you buy them in the shops. Who, or Johnny,
what?
Do you have a best useless fact? Chickens are upside down when you buy them in the shops. Johnny, do you have a useless fact? I don't know. I've never known them to be upside. Is this what happens in America? Are they upside down for some reason?
I don't think so. I mean, does he mean in the packaging, or
in America,
does he mean
barely chicken?
Does he mean when they're like hung in the shops? Like, I remember I went to like a Lidl in Spain and they're just like meat hanging everywhere. Does he mean?
I think you went to the wrong. You went to the wrong shop if there's meat hanging everywhere, Tosh.
Oh, not again.
Amsterdam.
That explains why I was sore after. Oh.
Any useless facts, Johnny?
It's a hard thing when you've been put on the spot, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. You're not really. They've been there, for you to look at for the last 54 minutes. So,
to be fair, I never look at it, do I?
I'm trying to come up with one. Give me a minute.
Koalas have chlamydia.
I wouldn't say that's boring.
It's useless, though, isn't it?
Trust you to come up with that.
Isn't the pet name that your boyfriend has for you, Hannah, Koala?
Oh, you say I actually do know a useless fact, and it is: did you know the King of Hearts? Like in a deck of cards, the King of Hearts is the only king in the entire deck that hasn't got a moustache.
That is very useless.
It's transgendered.
It's that woke cards you've got, Josh.
Yeah, I've got the woke edition. The Queen has also got a penis.
Sorry. I do think we need to
I'm on
ask
Reddit
Philip's
trying to
question
find
for Johnny, by the way.
I'll go on then, read it out to Johnny.
Philip Aldous says, challenge, divide the entire first team squad into ass men, boob men, and leg men. One for you.
Is that what they like, or if they were women, that's what I would like on them?
I think what we like, but you do your thing. I mean,
I like the way you think. What they're into, I would assume.
Okay, sure. Sonny is an ass man. Poro boob man. No,
I reckon Poro is just thirst.
Yeah, that's true. Vicario is confused. He'll take whatever he can get.
Okay.
Let's do Romero is 100% ass man. I could see him just
100%.
pounding it.
So you thought about it. Okay.
Yeah, just anger. Yeah, just anger drilling. You know what I mean?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, you do. Who else we got here? We got Madison. Madison's probably a leg. Probably boob man.
No, Rose Hannah.
Fuck off.
Yeah, sorry, Anna.
I'm nothing
Just for
sorry.
Hannah, I'll go leg man.
Thanks, because I do have legs.
Yes, you do.
Hey.
They're just not long, not very thick. kind of chickeny.
Unlike my tits and arse. That's all I can ask for.
Good thing you can suck start a fucking truck. Who else we got? Who are you asking? Van de Ven. Van de Ven. Probably Boob Man. Probably Boob Man. I'm guessing Boob.
He's Dutch. What do they like in Holland?
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking tall blonde, right?
They like pancakes, so we're all boobs out.
Oh, that's true.
Wasn't that whole thing in the in-betweeners of like Jay fingering the Dutch bird up the arse and shat on his arm?
That's right.
I fingered this one girl, she shut down my arm.
Great show. Who am I missing?
What was it? He said
Davies.
off with clogs.
Did you say Davies?
I reckon he's a leg man. He's a bit classier, isn't
He's
he?
also lights off.
Yeah, I'd say leg. Yeah, that's a good point. He's leg man.
What about Ange?
Gravy.
Oh, Ange. He's an old man, so he's
He wants neutral beef curtains.
He's gravy man. He's an older guy, so he's going to be a boob guy, like that.
Have
old
you
school,
seen
like,
Wolf of Wall Street?
Yes. No.
And
no, I haven't.
Leonardo DiCaprio's dad and that, or Jordan Belfort's dad, and he's like, I don't mind the bush. That's what I reckon. And just
for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Andrew would hedgehog some fucking bush to get to some meat curtains.
That's very vivid, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an Aussie's natural habitat, the bush, isn't it? So
That's fair.
That's true. The bush.
Very fair.
Benton Kerr's probably ass.
Basuma?
Basuma, 100% ass. Sar, ass.
no, I reckon Sar's got that youthful boobness that he likes.
But he's skinny. Yeah,
Kid.
dude, skinny. He's a skinny dude. He's gonna have that Laurel and Hardy kind of thing going on. He's gonna be a skinny dude with a woman with a huge ass.
He's definitely got really low hanging jeans as well and a do rag.
And he's probably hung like a fucking donkey.
Well, now you know what to
Desmond.
call a donkey, James. Papa.
Who else we got?
Packing like
Who we
Pap.
missing?
That is a film I'd pay to see.
Back in like that.
Packing like Pap. That needs to be on a T-shirt.
Really
On a scarf.
Not a fucking jerk rag.
What about Kulisevsky?
Kulisevsky, leg man.
Ginger.
Yeah, he's a ginger. He's a leg man. It could be ass, but more than likely leg.
Well, I mean, he supports Arsenal, so, you know, as long as they
Definitely
don't
ass.
say...
Oh, he's a cock man then.
Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't do yeses or nos either. It says whatever's. He's just going in.
Wherever he can find.
Yeah. He's not
So much
picky.
fun with that.
I think that's all I got.
Have we done Johnson?
Oh, Johnson, that's right. Ass man.
But it's his own ass. I reckon.
I feel like you're
likes a
racially
finger in there.
profiling all the...
I can see a pattern developing as well. I didn't want to say anything. Bisuma, ass. That's like, so ass. It's like
What I'm
he had
trying
to pause
maybe
a bit before he got to Johnson. I mean, we know that racism's rife in America, but come on, man, this is a podcast.
What about Emerson Royale? You haven't done him yet? Ass.
Ass, yeah, don't need to ask.
See, it's all this. I'm a visual person, so what I'm doing is I'm imagining them out in a club and who would be hanging on their arm, and I'm picturing
You
a
should
woman with a
never
with a
imagine
nice.
colour. We've told
I'm
you
not
this
a-
before. You and Joshua, we've said it before. Don't do this. Come on. All right, let's move on quickly, and then you can go. So I can answer this one. David asks, if you won 100,000 tomorrow, what would you each spend it on? Most creative answer wins. Easy, 50,000 dildos for Hannah.
You
He
said
did
can't
say
say
in
dildos
there-
or fish fingers, so try again.
Oh,
sir.
mate.
So you've lost instantly. So
Sorry,
Okay.
50,000 vibrators. No, it was just one of those things where 50,000 vibrators for Hannah.
No,
There you go.
I'm
It's
going.
not
I'm
dildos.
going. I'm going 100,000 Chinese butt plugs for Hannah.
Wait a minute.
The cheap
Oh my
ones.
god, we
Wait,
just talked about racism and yet.
So some of them
So
will
many
explode
strains.
for a little bit of extra spice.
A buck
Can I
each.
ask where you're finding these £2 vibrators?
Timu, mate. Bargain.
Up your ass.
You know.
It doesn't take a lot to get her going. It can be anything, all right? Anything for €2 on Temu.
Can we get your donkey from as well?
Temu donkey.
Johnny, can you stay for the VAR chat, or do you have to run?
I can do a couple more minutes.
I really wanted.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Todge, Josh, you want to mute yourself? Todge, can you? Yeah. Just hiss you on the hiss. Yeah, there you go. Oh, so peaceful.
Bliss.
It's so fucking lovely.
It's serene, isn't it?
I mean, listeners don't. I know listeners don't really get to hear this because we sort of like edit it out. But it's lovely. It's like just sat down, chilling out with your mates. No fucking hiss. Right. Anyway.
No, Josh.
Do you want to read out what David Ornstein has apparently said?
Yeah, sure. I'm just gonna load it up. I'll say this is how Josh probably feels about the amount of peace when he sees another flight to Rwanda go back.
I know Josh really wants to talk about this as well. We've muted him.
I know, that's why I said it. God bless him.
Notice how he didn't unmute himself to defend himself there. He's just sitting there going,
he's screaming into the void right now.
He's got nothing.
Don't ask him his recent hobbies, because plane spotting's one of them.
He's on flight radar right now.
His ankles are snapping right now. He's screaming. We can't hear a thing. It's bloody bliss. Go on, mate. Tell us what David Ornstein, the Arsenal fan, has said.
I just don't want to get myself into trouble. That's all it is.
Great idea.
I heard he's actually funding some of the dinghies to burst. He's got little task force out there sniping them. Anyway, Ornstein, he has said Premier League clubs to vote on proposal to scrap VAR from next season. Resolution formally submitted by Wolves moaning cunts to abolish the system, and there'll be a agenda on June 6th. And then any rule changes, you need 2/3 of the clubs to join, agree. So interestingly, it's 14 out of the 20 members, which leaves 6 clubs spare.
So if you're Daniel Levy, Johnny, what would you vote? You would vote to abolish it or keep it?
It's really tough because I see the positives and negatives of it. Abolish it, man. I almost say yes, just to have a few seasons under the belt where people bitch and moan about instant replay, and then they bring back a different version of it.
Yeah, but where we can enjoy goals again, mate.
No, I totally agree. I'm not saying like it's a bad thing. What I'm saying is that I'm to quote a former member, I'm being pragmatic, mate. It's like I see both sides of it. So I see that you need to make correct calls, but I also see that stopping the whole gameplay eliminates such a magical aspect of the game. In American football, I understand why instant replay or some version, whatever the fuck you want to call it, why it works. Because it's a stop and start game. We have a lot of games like that in America. I don't fucking know why, but I think it's just because we want to inject commercials in it all the time. But with the game of European football, it's so hard to stop play because I've explained it numerous times in the pod, but people aren't stupid. They understand it. So it's you're taking away a magical aspect of the game, but you also want to get the calls right. And I would be for abolishing VAR if 2 things happened. They didn't play instant replay in the stadiums, and they didn't play instant replay on the fucking TVs. That way, the viewers could still just absorb it the same way that you were in person, and you wouldn't have to worry about the call that fucking sucked and you thought it was completely wrong, because you don't have the horse shit on Twitter where they pause frames and they draw lines and say, see, he was onside. No, he was offside. And you start all this bullshit. It's like, if you just go back to what the game was and it was started as. Can you hear my dog whining now?
Yeah.
Good. If you go back to that, the magic of just the continuous play, I think a lot will. I think it'll be a good thing. There you go. I said it. So if I was Daniel Levy, Big Johnny in America, walking over there, bald head, fat fuck, I'd vote yes. Abolish it. Okay. Abolish. Yes. Yes for abolish.
Josh?
Contentious.
What's my opinion on VAR?
No, you have a choice. Are you voting to abolish it or to keep it?
I'm 100% getting rid of it. At first, obviously, before when it first came in and it was all being introduced, etc., I was all for it because I thought, oh, finally, these incompetent shit refs can finally, obviously, get it right. But now they've got a screen and they can watch it time and time and time again and still get it wrong, like even worse than what they did beforehand. And Johnny touched on it as well. Like, it's like I didn't like, for example, when Van der Ven scored against Arsenal, I didn't celebrate because of the type of goal it was. Because obviously you could tell like there was going to be lines that were quite tight. You can tell it was going to be VAR, and so I didn't celebrate it. So you get rid of VAR, people are going to start celebrating. As soon as the ball goes in, they'll have a quick glance at the lino. If the flag stays down, they'll start celebrating. But obviously now, the way the state things are, you can't even do that. Everyone will start celebrating, going nuts, and then you have to wait 5 minutes, and then it turns out you did all that celebrating for fuck all. But so it is bringing back like that it's the raw emotion. That's what they call it, isn't it? Like, because obviously as soon as you see the ball cross the line and the net bulge, and it's like one of the best feelings ever when you're in a stadium, and then to have that feeling taken away just because some bloke's got a ruler like halfway down the fucking motorway and he sees the game differently to everyone else, I think, yeah, get rid of it, personally.
Yeah, I agree.
Hannah?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
And like what Josh was just saying, where you're in the stadium and you're waiting, you don't even collectively find out the decision either, because obviously everyone's on their phones. So you'll have like some people near you know what the answer is before you do. It just ruins the whole experience. And I've said this before, like if VAR isn't foolproof, like it isn't 100% right all the time, there was no point bringing it in the first place. It's still got to be interpreted by officials. So, yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, I don't think VAR itself is the problem. I do agree it is the referees, etc., using it. But
yeah.
since they have brought it in my opinion, I know obviously the stats are out, like they have got more decisions right than they have wrong. But I just think it's just not been as enjoyable as what it was before VAR. So, yeah, I would be 100% be getting rid of it. I reckon that it would be better without it, personally.
And on that note, I got to leave, guys. Thank you for my enjoyment. And Josh, tell your mom I'm going to be right there, okay?
Love you, Jenny.
Let us know how your KKK meeting goes as well. All right, so Todd, over to you, mate.
It's a hard one. I think
he wants to keep it, doesn't he?
It's one of those. I just think it can be good if the right parameters are put in place. So, for example, you think the semi-automated offsides we want to bring into the Premier League that they've had in the Champions League, that they had in the World Cup. It really sped up the process and, do make things a lot better in that regard. So I think that's one of the things, just speed and consistency. They just got to be improved. Because you think that, like you mentioned, Josh, that Van der Ven goal, I still don't understand how that was any different to Bowen's goal against us at home against West Ham.
Was Bowen even in an offside position though? I haven't seen the goal obviously for so long. I've completely forgotten about it. But I understand there was ricochets and all that shit.
But it shouldn't matter if there's been when Tomiyasu's made a deliberate attempt to play the ball.
Yeah,
again,
that's
it's the same thing. It's a few years ago. The 2-2 game against Liverpool at Anfield, and Kane had a similar type of goal where it came off Lovren.
Mm-hmm. Was that when the referees are in the corner and he goes, "Do you know if he got the penalty? I'm giving the penalty.
Yeah, that's the thing. Fuck it, give him it.
Just thought, fuck it, I'll give it.
That's the thing. So I think it's consistency and speed. That's the issue. It's like a shag at the end of the day. There's no point going all one direction. You've got to have a nice happy medium to it all. You've got to have a nice bit of balance to it.
So what you're saying is you would get rid of it unless it was perfected.
I think you've got to see how next season goes with the offsides. That's probably one of the main issues with VAR, just the offsides and how long they take realistically. I mean,
but they're wrong. The
card...
offsides, the way that they do them are wrong. I know that
and they're going to change them anyway.
In 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks, I don't know if you've noticed this on VAR. They're sort of saying when the ball leaves. Have you noticed this? They've been doing this now. Like they've cottoned on to the fact that football is played at certain speeds.
Yeah.
But
I still don't get why they can't get cameras with a high enough frame rate.
Accurately. They can, and it looks like they're using Microsoft Paint whenever they do it on the VAR check. But the thing is, right, I don't agree with the semi-automated AI offside checks, because it's been proven that it can be done fully automated. They need the human element there because they have to justify the salaries. They have to justify the people being there. Because because it's very easy to switch to fully AI offside checks, and if they do that, what are all these people going to do?
Well, then they need to justify what margin of error is acceptable. Then
there should be, but you can have zero margin of error. You can have zero margin of error. Do you know what I mean?
I think offsides definitely. Like it should be something that's fully like automated. And I think with the other, the line stuff, they're not just there for offsides. They're there to help point out fouls and other bits of pieces that happen that are maybe just a little bit out of sight of the referee, or like out of view. So it's not just that, but yeah, I mean, for me, keep it for now. See how the offsides and try and find a way just to speed things the fuck up. Because I think that's what gets to people more than anything. Just the lengthy checks whilst you're waiting to see if if you scored or not. That's more. If it was just a quick 30 seconds, which has always been my premise, VAR should be used for 30 seconds. If you can't make up your mind within that, your on-field decision stays. Whether that's red cards or whatever. I mean, I went to the Spurs FA Cup game against Rochdale in like 2018 or something. It was, well, I don't even know. You can't say pissing it down with snow, can you?
I was going to say, was that the snowy one? And then was that the first one of the first VAR games?
It was, and every goal went to VAR, and it was so ridiculous. Like, there'd be nothing wrong. It'd be like a strike from outside the box, VAR, 3-4 minute review. And so it's come a long way, and I think sometimes we don't always appreciate sometimes how things have been going. I understand it's very frustrating lately with things that haven't been going right, and a lot of that comes down to the quality of official and how the processes are. But I think bottom line, if you make things faster, communicate better with the fans, it will take out a lot of the issues people have with it.
Yeah, I just think that if they use it, where there's no human error evident, then keep it. But they're not going to do that, are they? Because they've had an opportunity to, and they don't want to. So just get rid of it. Because I want to enjoy that euphoria, And it was only maybe once or twice a season where you would like jump out of your seat and it would be disallowed because of being offside, if you think about it. And now it's every other game. It's like it has to stop. It's enough now.
And that's the thing. They want to change the offside rules and everything for clear daylight between the players. But that's surely just going to cause the same issue on what frame do you manage to get. Well, we discussed that earlier, but you know what I mean. It's just like, well, you're still going to get the same issues of drawing lines on millimeters, and whoever's got fucking size 12 monster toes, they're going to get the rough end of the stick.
That's it, isn't it? It creates the same issue, just in a different part of the picture.
Yeah. Yeah. So
that's the thing.
What do you guys think? Do you think that clubs will vote for it to be gone?
Who are the teams that have been fucked most by it? Wolves, obviously,
Nottingham Forest.
They're the ones that, they'll go for it. Liverpool probably will, because of what happened with us. Arsenal seem to think the world's against them when they've literally been spoon-fed a title race. But I reckon, because there's been so many statements, isn't there, this season? Like, it wouldn't surprise me if my voice made a little squeak then. It wouldn't surprise me if it did get put forward that it will be scrapped.
And it'll be just our luck. We'll have some absolute bullshit decision that would get VAR'd, not go with us.
Oh yeah, it'll be us.
Non-VAR era.
Romero gets sent off for nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there'll be the last time that happens, because I'll look at it and go, yeah, we need to make a rule change there. It always happens with us, doesn't it? It's one of those.
Wasn't it that the same when Chelsea won the Champions League? We got binned out of it.
It's not just it's with everything, mate. It's so handball in the Champions League final.
That Chelsea thing, when that happened with Chelsea, we are the first and only team that rule has ever come into action against.
It will never happen again.
No, they got rid of it 2 seasons later.
Sissoko handball. We can keep going.
Eric Dyer handball.
Hannah.
Oh my god, the Lucas Moura one you just reminded me killed me.
Oh, where he fell on it on his back.
That's peak Jose era, that game. It was just, everything.
What else? There was another one as well to do with Ndombele and Aurier. What was that? Against...
was that the one where they did like the VAR celebration, the goal?
They did that in the game after, didn't they?
But that was really funny.
It was the game before. Something happened. I'm sure it was. They were celebrating, and then obviously VAR chalked it off, and then the next game week, and Ndombele scored, and then they did a fake VAR check celebration.
Oh, that's so cold.
I'll
bring
the
Ndombele back just for that. Yeah, I love Ndombele. He's one of my top 5 favourite players just for the vibes. Kill me and crucify me. I said what I said.
You're such a fucking Arsenal fan. Hannah, do you want to tell the listeners how unhappy you are with the reviews and ratings?
Not been doing them, slags. So we've got 35 on Spotify at the moment, don't we?
No.
I swear that's more.
I think we had much more than that.
No.
Hold on a minute.
I don't think so. But Apple Podcasts is dire. It's on 9, and it's the same
it's
as
not
it has
going
been.
up, is it?
So
Yeah.
it's not hard though.
I know.
It's really not hard. I could probably say this in a nicer way, but I don't have a lot of sympathy for people who can't click buttons on the screen. So yeah, if you could do that, that would be great.
It would be great. Just one last thing, Josh. Can you mute yourself? Just 1 minute.
Sorry, it's important.
Yeah. And that's been the Hotspur Way podcast, guys. See you next week. Love you loads. Bye-bye.